Hey cousins, how you doing? It's Kicker here. Just thought I'd share a little video with you and catch up on some content for my YouTube channel. Been pretty busy. As you can see, there's Noisy Boy in the shop for the very first time in almost 2 years. Come on, let's go for a walk. Pulled him in so that I could eventually get around to doing that distributor, and I got a couple of connectors made. The other day when I took it out for a drive, the connector on my distributor doesn't have that little clip on it. I don't know if you can see it, I just covered it up, but anyway, it fell out and I lost power. I had to get out and plug that thing back in right there, because that doesn't have the little clip on it anymore. It just fell right out, and I was dead in the water. Just had to coast over to the side of the road. I knew exactly what it was as soon as it shut off. So, oh man, it sounds good. I told you guys I was gonna make a little music video for you, so let's go ahead and do that before my phone runs out of memory again, because I got plenty of power. The problem I've been having, and the reason I haven't been making any content, is because, find my key here. That's it. I think that's it. Yeah. Is because my phone was full and I didn't have any storage space left. So fire this thing up. Oh boy, it sounded good. Too bad I didn't have somebody here to rev it up for me. That little camshaft's comp 480, but I got 1/6 ratio rockers on it, which bumps the overall lift to a 512, and it doesn't clean out until about 2 grand. Yeah, she's a screamer. That little engine that I put in here this time is a 358 NASCAR style engine with a 350 stroke crank with a 565 rod in it, and I'm telling you, that thing will wind to 7,500 all day long. But I don't want to wind it that tight yet because it's still brand new, and I've only done one oil change on it since that initial break-in. And I took it for, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 miles now, I guess. And so it's got maybe 10 miles total on it, and I want to wait until I really wind her up tight. I took it for a drive, that, like I was telling you, I took it for a test drive the other day, and I took it down there behind where the highway patrol is, down the road by Scholastics, and there's a nice straightaway down through there that's almost 3/4 of a mile long. And I did a low gear pull from a dead stop, and it hit posi, and it just started hazing the tires and breaking the tires loose. And as soon as I pulled it up to about 4,500, I just banged second gear, man, and as soon as it hit second gear, it just set me sideways. That transmission, well, if I had back teeth, it would have probably knocked the fillings out of them. It hit so hard. But anyway, I'm so happy that that transmission turned out so well. I took my time with that transmission because it's the first one I did in over 25 years. And the last transmission I built was before my son was born. So yeah, I had to take myself back to school to learn how to rebuild a Turbo 350 all over again. And I'm so glad that I paid attention to what I was doing and how I was doing it, because man, I tell you what, I don't let nobody else build my transmissions for me now that I know how to do it. And I've got 2 of them sitting right over there in the corner, and as soon as I've got the finances to put them back together, that's money in my pocket guaranteed as soon as I get them assembled. And so Yeah, it takes money to make money, and I don't really have anything. I've been sitting here all month, flat broke, no cigarettes, no gas to go anywhere. Can't do anything because my water heater keeps puking water out on the floor. For the last 7 months I've been contending with that pressure relief valve on the side of my water heater blowing off, and because of that my sewer bill has doubled, my water bill has doubled, and my gas bill has doubled because that thing just sits there and burns and burns and burns trying to heat up cold water that just keeps running through it constantly. And if it pops off while I'm sleeping at night, well, it'll run for 8 hours straight, and the whole house will fill up with that noxious fumes of that burner, just filling the whole basement up with CO2. And I woke up to my CO2 detector going beep, 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 beep. I'm like, I thought it was my smoke detector. I woke up to what I thought my house was on fire. Nope, it was my CO2 detector telling me, hey, you got a problem. You better tend to it. And man, when I opened that garage to the basement door from upstairs to come down here, it just hit me in the face like, oh goodness gracious, man, I couldn't believe it. And long story short, when I get the money, I know that I have the skill now to put those two transmissions back together and get them posted up on Marketplace and try to get enough money together to get this thing insured, licensed, and legal. And so I hope you enjoyed that little bit of music that I just made for you. I got the X-Wing 1000 pulled over there in what I call the wet corner, because every time it rains rather, that whole corner right over there where the motorcycle is sitting, it floods all the way out up to the steps, and it'll just stand there 2 or 3 inches deep in that corner the whole time, unless I come with a broom or a squeegee and send it over to the drain and send it outside through the drain. And anyway, that's kind of a pain in the backside, but you know, it's worth it for me to have a place to live that I can actually afford. And even if it's got a few little things that go wrong here and there, this house and being here and having a place to call home is a blessing to me, and I do not look a gift worse than a mouth. And I got the truck in the garage because it's supposed to storm today, and I mean it's supposed to storm, and it was just raining a few minutes ago, and I've already gotten like 4 tornado warnings come across my phone. So if my phone starts making some weird noise while I'm recording this video, that's probably why. Man, my hand is shaking. I couldn't find my little clampy thing that I broke my screen with. I looked all over for that little clampy thing so I could hold on to it better and record you guys some good content. I wish I had somebody here to rev this thing up for me. I'd make a pretty cool, sweet little music video to post up on YouTube for a short, because it seems like the shorts that are about 25 to 30 seconds long seem to do the best on my channel, even though I've only got 9 subscribers. And I'm not going to ask anybody to subscribe. If you like my content, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe. If not, it's no big deal. You don't have to. I'm not going to pressure anybody into watching me. Really, who would be too interested in what I have to say? But I just wanted to touch base with you and let you get a look and get a hear of what Noisy Boy is and how he turned out. And I'm pretty proud of it. And so that's why it's sitting in the shop right now, because with that hail coming, I don't want my one high dollar item that I could sell to be damaged by 4, 5, 6 pound hailstones that could potentially come down with this monster storm that's coming in. And so everybody out there in Missouri, stay safe, and yeah, just be careful and watch out tonight if you happen to see this video today, and tune in for some new content as soon as I get a better recording device. I'm recording on my dumb phone at the moment, and it does alright, but I'm really looking for like a Canon. Want like a Canon EOS, or I think it's called a D50. And I want to get a tripod and, you know, some good equipment and with a mic where I can set some different angles up and run you guys through some time-lapse stuff while I'm actually doing it, so you can actually see me doing my tinkering. I don't go too fast, I just take my time, and it comes together in its own pace. I don't rush anything anymore, I just take my time. And as far as that water heater was concerned, here's the deal with that. I called my landlord last Friday to find out when they're going to come and fix that pressure relief valve on that brand new water heater that they put in 7 months ago. It's been popping off since they put it in. And Danny told me that it was a warranty issue and that he was working with the factory to have the technician come and do it because it was a warranty issue. And that went on for about 4 months, and I called Danny about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And he said, yeah, I just haven't had time to get to that, blah, blah, blah. And he just shined me on like you always did and always does. I think I just gave it away. But anyway, I called Nancy Friday, and the reason she said that they haven't been able to get to it was because Danny passed away. And I didn't know that. I felt like a shoe hill. But I'm telling you, I'm glad I did not allow my anger to get the best of me and make it more than what it really is, because in Ecclesiastes it says that anger resideth in the lap of fools. And I have, throughout my life, allowed my anger to get the best of me and shoved my foot all the way down the back of my throat. You know what I mean? I didn't just put my foot in my mouth. I literally had to swallow my whole foot. And I'm so glad that I reread that entire book of Ecclesiastes, because it means everything if you can control that anger and give yourself a new perspective in life. Your life changes for the good. And if God could change someone like Saul, a murderer, and change a murderer into Paul, one of the most devout disciples of Christ that the Bible wrote about. And so if you read the entire book of Ecclesiastes, you're reading the story of Paul. And I suggest that for any new Christian trying to turn their life around, to start at Ecclesiastes and Galatians, because that's where it's at. And that's where the changes happen in your mind, is when you read Ecclesiastes and Galatians. And it works, and I love God, and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And without God in my life, I would still be that exact same person that I was all those years ago. Full of anger and letting my anger control me. And I try not to do that anymore, to be honest with you. It doesn't serve you well. If you let that anger control you, it leads you right back into the darkness. And I've had enough of that darkness, and I enjoy living in the light and feeling God's blessings and mercy and grace and righteousness within me. And it wells up within me sometimes, and I have to push back that feeling of anger, of wrath for the evil that's been perpetrated on me, and that I still continue to see being perpetrated on everybody on the planet right now. And if we want to change this reality that we're living in, we have to first change our thoughts to better thoughts and get away from all of those thoughts of anger and hatred and indifference, you know what I mean? And we have to get to a place of being in acceptance of God's law according to our life, and choosing His will first and foremost, not our own. And when we put our egos aside, God's mercy will come in, because as long as you're full of ego and hate and anger, there's no room for God's love to dwell within you. So you have to get rid of those things, and that's your responsibility. That's my responsibility. And I'm not going to preach to you. I'm just trying to deliver a couple of good words for you. And I hope that you enjoy this video, because I enjoy making them for you. And if you get anything from it, maybe you'll just rewind it back to that $5 pull I did for you, because that makes it all worth it. Alright, well, this has been Kicker, and you've been... Let me start that over. This is Kicker, and you've been kicking it with Kicker. Kicker out.